Welcome back to Awakening Reformation podcast, where Reformation awakens now. My name is Grant with the Weaker Vessel and the Seasoned Saint.
That's George.
Contact us. We're on Facebook, Awakening Reformation podcast. On Instagram, we're on Twitter. Twitter handle is Awaken Reform Pod. And you can always contact us through email, awakeningreformation@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. How's everyone feeling now? Is everyone feeling pretty good?
Well, I'm still sick.
Erica is still sick. Erica's got a deep cough. Bronchitis is what they said.
Black lung, pup.
You're only down there one day. If you know where that's from, you're awesome. George, how are you feeling?
Doing okay.
Doing all right?
Let's rock.
All right. He doesn't want to do small talk. George is not a small talky kind of guy.
Well, too bad, because we're going to do some small talk, because I have a game for you boys.
I love the Seasoned Saint, I love the Weaker Vessels games.
Well, it all depends on the game. They can be a little scary.
Even though I look like a fool. Let's do it.
Hey, George, what are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking nothing.
What were you just drinking?
I was drinking water.
What are you drinking, Grant?
I have water.
I have water as well.
Man, we're so healthy.
No, look at us.
Hydrating and stuff.
Keeps wrinkles at bay. So,
awesome. Beverages.
How much thought have you put into beverages?
A lot, actually. I'm kind of addicted to having a beverage in my hand from when I wake up until I go to bed.
Actually really annoying because I find beverages all over my house.
This is kind of a weird, it's like a, what do you call that, comfort thing?
I don't know, but it's weird.
Anyway, I'm addicted to beverages.
I used to have a boss who was addicted to coffee. We used to give him a bad time. He couldn't walk from his office to my office about 60 feet without having a cup of coffee. He couldn't walk out in the plant without having a cup of coffee in his hand.
It's my kind of man.
I'm that way, just it doesn't have to be one thing. It's just any beverage I like. I like to always have a beverage.
So if you were a beverage, what beverage would you be? If George was a beverage, he would be black coffee. Like mud.
Yeah?
Explain that.
That's like army black coffee.
Because...
Okay.
Because why?
Because it'll slap you in the face and wake you up in a quick hurry.
All right.
It's kind
of a traditional drink too. A lot of history in coffee. Black coffee.
There's a lot of history in George.
Exactly. There's a lot of history.
Although he doesn't know history very well.
But you know, the frou-frou-ness, the doctoring up of coffee is probably fairly a new thing, right? Putting milk and sugar is probably...
George doesn't drink coffee. That's why he's rolling his eyes right now.
But he would. You used to, right?
No.
You never drink coffee? I
can probably count on two hands the number of times I've had coffee.
What's wrong with you?
Never been a coffee drinker.
What? I'm so shocked right now. Like I just discovered
I've never
your deep dark past or something.
I've never been a big coffee drinker. My family was...
You need to repent.
No, I don't need to repent.
This is awful. How are we friends?
My dad's family is very British, or from the British Isles. I drank more tea than I did coffee.
Okay.
What kind of tea do you like?
I generally will drink black tea or green tea.
Any other
cream
wild...
Cream or sugar, honey, or just straight up?
I'll drink it with honey. Yeah. Other than that, if I'm drinking soda, I'll drink something like Sprite or something like that. But
I can't look at you and think tea. That's just weird.
That does seem weird.
But I don't drink a lot of that either. During the winter, I'll drink hot chocolate, but I don't drink.
With mini marshmallows with big.
Mini marshmallows.
Oh, minis. Okay.
Or.
So you want to get? So
the
you want
peppermint ones are good if you have
or whipping cream on top.
But you want the minis. So the people with minis, it's because they want like a marshmallow or two with each drink. You know, that's the purpose.
Well, but when they melt in there,
it gets all creamy.
Gets all creamy, and you got it all the way to the bottom.
Oh man, you just love describing that way too much right now.
Okay, George, what is Grant? What would Grant be? You'd be an orange mocha frappuccino.
No, I would not. And again, if you know where that's from, you know how offended I am right now. That is... No. I don't even like orange drinks at all.
It's not even a thing.
You could probably get it made. Anyway, I don't do orange drinks anyway. So that's false. What do you think, George?
What's a really hipster drink, George?
You're asking me what a hipster drink is? The guy who doesn't go near any place like Starbucks or anything? You're asking the wrong guy. I'm sorry.
Starbucks is not hipster. It's so mainstream now.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't go to coffee places, so you're asking the wrong guy.
It doesn't have to be coffee. You'd be like a strong, finger or two of scotch. But not like a really expensive scotch. But not like the cheapest one either, right, George?
You'd be a cheap scotch.
Get out of here. No, cheap scotch is not good. What? Why scotch? Why?
Because it's classic, slightly sophisticated.
Okay. Not really sophisticated.
No, you're not that expensive.
Yeah.
It would be like middle of the shelf.
Okay.
But you're scotch over ice.
Scotch on the rocks.
Yeah, you're not straight up scotch. You're not that hardcore.
Okay.
George, you're very quiet.
That's awesome.
George.
What?
You're just
George, are you okay?
I'm just fine.
Which is why I really want to do the ancestry thing, because I feel like I'm Scottish. I feel like I must be more than I think I am.
Well, see, for those of us that are really Scots-Irish and English and Welsh...
What?
I don't think you're Scotch. You're Dutch.
No, I don't know. I mean, obviously my name is.
Well, then what do you think he is, George?
Yeah. I don't even know what the Dutch like drinking.
I don't either.
They probably like drinking coffee, though. They probably do. Old Ottoman.
You're not coffee. You want to be coffee, but you're not coffee.
Well, I really love coffee. Iced coffee, mostly. Cold brew coffee. But I love coffee and IPAs.
Yeah, he'll have coffee, folks, at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
And go right to sleep.
And go right to sleep.
They actually say that's a sign of ADHD.
Well,
I'm alright. I'm fine.
Do
you have any contrary description for myself than what Erica said? Or no?
That you're fine? I'm not sure about...
that the Scotch. Because she said Scotch. Do you agree that her description...
I would have said something on a dark beer.
oh, interesting. Like a stout or a lager.
Something like that.
You're not IPA. That's too hipster.
I do like IPAs, though. A lot.
This is nothing. George doesn't like coffee. It's got
true.
nothing to do with what you like.
Right, yeah.
George might have convinced me.
So
just by saying it, Grant. See,
Stout?
I didn't have to give a reason.
I mean, I'm okay with that, too. Because I really like stout.
But once again, he's not a cheap beer, but he's not like, $50 pint.
Well, what about like a pub stout? Like just go to Scotland and you just get a pub, or Ireland and you get a pub stout.
Okay, that's fine. You can be that. You can be whatever you want to be.
Yes, it's America, and I'm a millennial. Good night. All right, George, you got to help me pick what Erica is as far as a beverage.
Be nice.
This is really hard because we gotta include her.
Well, I know what she likes to drink.
Right, and that's not what we're doing. Something, so her ridiculous beauty, ridiculous high level of beauty.
Ridiculous what?
But also her wit and intelligence. I'm gonna do. So this is where I'm going with it, all right? And this doesn't have to, and this is not what she likes either. I'm going to go with a really fine vintage from France. That is what I think she is.
Vintage what?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
It's,
So am I.
No, wineries have their vintage, right?
Yeah.
That's just what it's called.
But you didn't say wine.
You didn't say wine. You
just say...
But that's what a vintage is. A vintage is like their...
Well, vintage can be anything old.
Their signature wine, though, that year, right? Like, it's just that winery.
It's the vintage 1928 or whatever.
Right, yeah. So, that's what I think. Because you think like high beauty and...
I think just dusty old bottle.
No. Because this is what you serve at like a super high elite ritzy party, though. You know
I've
what I mean?
never been to one of those. I wouldn't know.
But it's where the smartest people are at. It's where the most beautiful...
That's why I've never been to one.
Most beautiful people are at. Knock it off. So that's what I would say Erica is a high-end, at least 50-year plus ago vintage from France, from some winery in France.
Yeah, that's not where George was going.
That's where I'm going with it. George, you can go where you want to go, but that's where I'm going with it.
Let's be honest, George. That's where he has to go with it.
That's how I think of my woman. What else can I say?
Well, I know. What I would have thought would have been a wine, but I'm not sure I'd have gone vintage is all.
Okay. Well, you go where you want to go with it. But you just want to say wine in general?
Yeah.
Okay, why? I gave my reasons for why the vintage. But...
Just because that's where my gut tells me to go.
Am I red or white?
Oh, you're white wine.
Okay.
That is my preference.
Mm-hmm. We know that.
George.
It is.
Don't be giving away my secrets.
Okay, so we've...
Okay.
What's the next part of this?
Who is your favorite celebrity pastor?
That's living?
Doesn't have to be alive.
Oh, that makes it so much worse. And so much harder.
This doesn't have to be like your favorite, but pick like one of your favorites.
John Calvin.
Piper.
Okay.
John Piper. Both Johns. There's so many Johns. Good night. God bless the name John.
I'm going to go with Tim Keller.
Okay, yeah, solid pick.
What beverage would you associate with them?
Oh, gosh.
I feel like yours should be easy, Grant.
Mine?
George, yours probably doesn't drink anything besides water. Maybe milk if he's feeling adventurous.
Yeah, I don't know. Having attended Bethlehem Baptist, I don't know that I would think that John...
I don't think he drinks.
I don't think he drinks.
But once again, you don't have to like the beverage that you are given.
Doesn't.
I would say...
He doesn't.
I would associate John Piper with a vintage.
Okay.
Well, for those of you that have sat under and have heard John Piper's preaching, I think his preaching was second to none.
He's a good preacher.
He's an excellent preacher, and he does an excellent job with hermeneutics and exegesis.
Yeah.
John Piper.
So that's where we're at.
Okay. What about you?
This is so hard because I want to say something like a really high-end Scotch because they are very, very, very smooth. And if you read John Calvin, sometimes it doesn't feel like you're reading somebody from 500 years ago. You're reading someone who just knows. He just has a way with words. It's so clear. It's so good. So it's smooth and goes down really good. But at the same time, it is so clear so that alcohol kick, it's still going to have a sharpness and a clarity, if need be, a rebuke or, something like that that's going to really kick at the same time. So super smooth, but also sharp and pointed in what they are. Because Calvin was a...
Lots of alcohol.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not a Mountain Dew, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of something smooth and at the same time has kind of a punch in it, because he was, away with words, but if he needed to be sharp and to the point, he was there too.
Makes sense.
My favorite, John Calvin's my man. So what do you got for Tim Keller? What kind of beverage do you think Tim Keller is?
So I had the advantage of going last, so this whole time I'm sitting here thinking about what beverage Tim Keller would be. And I think Tim Keller would be a protein shake.
A protein shake?
Yes, I think it'd be a protein shake. And this is why. Okay. Because it's not something that you think you're going to like to drink.
All right.
But it's very smooth. Even babies could drink a protein shake, right? Yeah. But then you get all the nutritional benefits of the protein in the protein shake, and it's got some substance to it. And that's kind of how Timmy K is, Like... That's
true.
He's going to... It'll go down like milk, but it'll have enough nutrients to keep you alive for a while, yeah.
Well, and usually it has all the nutrients you need pretty much too. Yep. So it's gonna cover all the bases. Yep. And he does, and yeah, it's good. See, you're just way more creative than we are. You can come up with something way better.
Well, that's because I went last.
Well, transitioning from not very far from pastors and on to churches, something we wanted to talk about now that we've talked about complementarianism and church leadership, we're going to talk about church abuse and common occurrences common mishaps. Common mishaps that happen in churches. What is church abuse? What isn't church abuse? And we're going to talk about what the Bible talks about, what church leadership should be like. We kind of already talked about that with church leadership, the qualifications, but there is some parts of Scripture that talk about how they are supposed to treat those who are under them, what they're responsible for. And so what does it look like when they don't do that, when they are just abusive?
Most people have been hurt by a church at some point in their life.
And this is why we thought it was relevant. It happens a lot. People are hurt or burned by a church. Their expectations were either wrong or not met. Maybe pastors overpromised. And then you just get hurt and burned, So how do you deal with that? How do you move forward? How do you move forward and not just get jaded where you leave the church?